Hello and welcome. Today's project is all about 3 strategies for anxiety. Now, someone with anxiety, they're stuck in this loop. They can't get out of it. They wake up and everything's so heightened. They dread the day and they go through the day walking on eggshells, but also highly sensitized. And this loop can last years, and it lasted for me years as well, and since I was a child. And so you can watch the movie Groundhog Day and see that loop for yourself. I mean, I love this movie. Bill Murray's character, he's stuck in this continuous loop. He's a very unhappy guy. He's bitter. He's resentful. Hates his job, but he gets stuck in this loop, and every day becomes the same day. And that's essentially true for an anxiety sufferer. Every day is the same, and they're miserable. They're bitter, resentful. And that was like me going through my anxiety disorder, just like Bill Murray. It was when I took responsibility that I got out of that loop. And just like his character in the movie, as soon as he took on all of this responsibility, he became responsible for himself, how he acted, every single action that he took. And then once all that meaning came into his life, what happens? Well, he got himself out of that loop, right? And that's how you get yourself out. Because at one point in the movie, he attempts to kill himself like 20 times, right? And the reason why he doesn't do that is the reason why he doesn't succeed is because, just like an anxiety sufferer, the anxiety sufferer attempts to kill themselves, their old self. That it's a symbolic meaning, the killing of their old self. They attempt to kill their old self by introducing a new habit, trying to change their ways. But the reason why they can't successfully kill their old self is because they end up going back to their old ways. And you can see that in Bill Murray's character. He goes back to his old ways. He can't stick. He can't successfully kill himself because he is unable to commit and take responsibility for himself. So that killing of himself in the movie is symbolic meaning, right? He can't successfully kill his old self until he takes responsibility, and then the responsibility adds the meaning into his life, and then he gets out of that loop, right? So the first strategy I really want to talk about in this video is slowing down. Anxiety sufferers are with their foot on the gas pedal. Their anxiety systems are revved to the max. So slowing down the things that you do during your day is going to help you to look at things from a different perspective, to be more conscious. That's the thing, and that's what my program helps people to do, is to become more conscious of the things that they're doing every day. If you're continuously rushing around and doing things at a level 10 speed, you're not going to be conscious of the bad habits. You're not going to be conscious of the thoughts that really impact your emotions. And so slowing down is a great way to really look at yourself from a different perspective. And it's going to be difficult at first because you have to introduce this new habit. And if you're like with COVID-19 going on, if you're at home, everything is so ritualized. So introducing a new habit is going to be really, really difficult. And so this requires you to put sticky notes on the walls, write it down on a planner, write it down on a calendar, practice slowing down. But it's also necessary for you to minimalize and organize the amount of things that you have to do during the day. If you take everything that you have to do and then you kind of minimalize it, you're able to slow down in between those things. And introducing a new habit is requires you to kill those parts of you that don't serve you. Just like in Groundhog Day, he wasn't successful killing those parts, and then he was stuck in that bitterness, resentfulness, unhappy loop. But it's until you add those new constructive habits, you break away from that old you, and then you move towards that ideal you, the you that you've always wanted to become. So slowing down, the act of slowing down also calms down the stress response. You're more conscious, but you're also slowing down, because the act of moving quickly, doing things, what happens is you're just telling your system that everything needs to be done quickly. You're telling your system that, things need to be accomplished right now. They can't wait, that there's no room for error, because anxiety sufferers tend to be perfectionists. They want everything to be done right and the way they want it to be done. Because I remember my old self, that person, that Brad, would leave the house and I would forget my wallet. I'd forget my phone. I would forget important tools for work. And so I was always in a rush. And then I would beat myself up at forgetting those things. And then I was already setting myself up for failure that day. So slowing down is a huge strategy and an important one for anxiety recovery. Breathing is the next strategy. Breathing, watching your breath throughout the day, important. It's really crucial that you schedule time. This whole breathing strategy, it's necessary that you schedule your day. So this is going to require discipline, which is really crucial for anxiety recovery. So for me, going through my anxiety disorder, I would schedule meditation in the morning, breathing around midday, and then before bed, another meditation, breathing exercise session. And so I remember working a lot in the film industry, and I would take those breaks throughout the day as opportunities to practice breathing, calming down the system, calming down the mind, right? I became really self-centered in a good way. So on my breaks, I would sit in the car and I would just breathe, calm down the system, listen to a relaxing meditation audio track that's on my phone, and just relax. And what breathing does, it calms down the stress response, and it activates the relaxation response. Now, when we are in this stress response, the stress response suppresses a sexual desire. It suppresses the immune system, and it also suppresses critical thinking, because when our anxiety response are active, we have a hard time thinking logically, because that anxiety system, it takes over all of our brain processes. So we want to relax the system so that you can go about your day more mindful, more conscious. Oh, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm doing. This is what I need to do. And so you're more aware of what's going on in your body. And, like the first step, you're not rushing around. The breath allows you to slow down your pace, but it also slows down the thoughts as well. You're able to not react so emotionally towards every single negative thought that comes your way, because we get up to 70,000 thoughts a day, which is a lot. Number 3 is a really powerful technique that should be done in the morning, or whenever during the day. It's power poses, mirror poses, and a great video on YouTube, a great TED Talk is Amy Cuddy's power poses. She talks about looking at yourself in the mirror, but also striking a power pose, that Superman, Superwoman pose. And we have mirror neurons. So that's why when we're around people, we tend to imitate those people. We tend to think like them, because those mirror neurons are great. They're imitators, right? That's why when you're not around the person you usually hang around, you're thinking their thoughts, or you're acting, or you have the same mannerisms as them, because you pick that up, right? And so when you look at yourself in the mirror, and you're usually hunched over, slouching, depressed, unhappy, you're afraid all the time. Well, what happens is when you start to open up your body, not only you become vulnerable towards yourself, but you also view yourself in the mirror as somebody different, because this is the person that you're not accustomed to seeing, right? You used to avoid the mirror, like I did. I avoided the mirror, but when I started to look at myself, kind of the truth started to emerge. I was seeing myself for what I was. And so as soon as I would strike one of these confident, confident poses, I would look at myself from a different perspective. Oh, I'm a guy capable of handling the day. I'm a guy with hidden potential within himself. I see this different Brad in the mirror, and so throughout the day, I'm more likely to imitate that Brad. I'm more likely to act like that Brad I saw earlier that day. And so looking at yourself in the mirror, striking these poses, not only does it shoot like that dopamine, that confidence within you, but it also it makes you look at yourself from a different point of view, a different perspective. Somebody who's actually capable of handling the challenges that the day is going to throw at you, right? So practicing slowing down, practicing your breathing, practicing the power poses, the mirror poses is going to allow you to look at yourself from a different perspective, but also make you more conscious, more consciously aware of yourself, more consciously aware of your environment. And it's about structuring your day and introducing these strategies so that you can break the loop that you were in before. And that's where I'm going to leave you on today's video. Thank you so much for being here. Please leave a comment, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, and go and review and rate the Anxiety Project podcast on iTunes. And remember, do not let anxiety define who you are. I will see you on the next video. Bye for now. Remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell so that whenever a new video of mine appears, you will be the first to know. Namaste.